Welcome to this doctoral defense. The opponent on my right side is Associate Professor Bednarik from the University of Eastern Finland. The doctoral candidate, Deepak Akkil, is from the University of Tampere and Topi. I am Poika Isokoski, the Custos in this defense. As the Custos appointed by the Faculty of Information Technology and Communication Sciences, I declare this defense opened.
Respected Custos, distinguished opponent, ladies and gentlemen. The title of my dissertation is Gaze Awareness in Computer-Mediated Collaborative Physical Tasks. We live in a world where our professional and social circles are more distributed than ever before. Technologies that enable remote individuals to communicate and collaborate is a basic necessity of our times. I'll present myself as an example. I was born and brought up in India. Most of my family and friends are still in India. Over the years, some of them moved to different parts of the world. In 2012, I moved to Finland for my master's degree. After about 6 years in Finland, I moved to Stockholm for work. The place where I work right now have offices in different parts of the world and customers across the world. I'm pretty sure many of you in the audience can relate to this. With the geographically dispersed nature of our workplaces and social circles, technologies that allow remote individuals to communicate and collaborate is an integral part of our lives already. We use remote communication technologies such as emails, instant messages, voice and video calls every single day, multiple times a day. Video-based communication is specifically interesting because it provides a rich medium for communication and collaboration. The traditional way to use video calling is for conversational purposes, that is to see and talk to remote individuals. For example, traditional video conferencing. Another growing use of video is to use video as data. Here, video is not used to show faces and talking heads, but show things in the environment, to support joint activities and share experiences. Imagine a young adult cooking a dish with the help of a remote parent, an elderly parent calling their son to help operate the new microwave oven, a customer calling the IKEA customer support to help assemble the new furniture set, or a friend showing interesting tourist landmarks to a remote friend. Applications of video as data are numerous. Such use of video as a collaborative activity space brings with it new opportunities and challenges. Previous research in this area shows the need for additional gesturing and awareness cues to facilitate seamless collaboration. If we look at our real-world interactions for inspiration, we soon realize that human eyes plays a very important role in our everyday social interactions. Eyes help turn-taking, establish joint attention, and overcome ambiguity in communication. These benefits go beyond normal conversational scenario. During co-located collaboration, we intuitively perceive and effortlessly interpret where our collaboration partner is looking. Previous research shows that in certain collaborative scenarios, visibility of the collaboration partner's eyes, as opposed to a case where they're wearing sunglasses, lead to improved efficiency and quality of collaboration. However, the cues provided by eye movements are often missing or difficult to interpret in computer-mediated remote communication. Eye tracking is the process of measuring the movement of the eyes and estimating where a person is looking. Computing devices with gaze trackers can use this information as an input channel in human-computer interaction. The technology of eye tracking has been around for a couple of decades. However, its use has been limited as a research tool or as an assistive technology for severely disabled users. Recently, the technology of eye tracking has been rapidly evolving to mainstream significance. Eye tracking technology is here. It's more available, it's cheaper, and ergonomic to use than ever before. The data returned by the eye tracker is not pixel perfect. It often contains systematic inaccuracies and noise, making the gaze cursor appear a little bit away from the actual fixation target and also a little jittery. Given the value of eyes in our everyday social interactions, previous research has used eye tracking technology to provide gaze awareness in desktop-based collaboration scenarios, such as pair programming, or learning scenarios where an expert programmer is explaining a piece of code to a beginner. Two individuals collaborating on a computing task can share their screen and share their gaze point to each other. The point of gaze is presented in this case as an abstract visual element on the video. Previous studies have presented numerous benefits of sharing gaze in such scenarios. For example, the work done by my distinguished opponent shows that shared gaze in learning scenarios enabled learners to follow the expert collaborator's gaze pattern more effectively and focus on task-relevant information. Others have noted its usefulness for efficiently communicating spatial information and establishing grounding in communication. The focus of this thesis is to extend our understanding regarding value of shared gaze from desktop-based collaborative scenarios to collaboration involving physical tasks in the real world. Prior to this thesis, there was only one work in this area of shared gaze for collaborative physical tasks by Fussell and others in 2003. They used head-mounted cameras with gaze trackers in a collaborative Lego building task, such as the one that you see in the video, and compared it with a scenario involving stationary cameras. The gaze of a person wearing the head-mounted camera was transferred to the remote helper. Fussell and others concluded in their study that, contrary to our expectations, head-mounted camera with eye tracking did not provided little benefit. Head-mounted camera systems with eye tracking may not yet be robust enough for actual field applications. And this was in 2003. The recent research and development in the domain of eye tracking has improved the technology in terms of accuracy of tracking and ergonomics of use. After over a decade since the previous study, this thesis revisited this topic. The work done in this thesis can be broadly classified into three themes. A primary theme focusing on understanding the value of gaze awareness in collaborative physical tasks. Themes 2 and 3 focused on gaze interaction on smart glasses and gaze data quality. Themes 2 and 3 indirectly contributed to the primary theme. For example, in theme 2, we studied users' expectations of using gaze interaction in smart glasses, a device form factor we investigated in theme 1 for collaborative purposes. In theme 3, we developed Trakume, an open source tool for visualizing and measuring gaze data quality. The tool was used in studies in theme 1 to understand how gaze data quality affects the use of shared gaze. Theme 1 focused on gaze awareness in collaborative physical tasks and is foundational to this thesis. In this presentation, I'll be emphasizing on this theme. The focus of this research was to answer the following research questions. Can sharing gaze between collaborators lead to any measurable benefit in video-based collaborative physical tasks? If yes, what benefit does it provide? Do contextual factors influence the usability of shared gaze for collaboration? How does shared gaze compare against more explicit remote gesturing mechanisms such as shared mouse for collaborative physical tasks? To answer these research questions, this thesis focused on a variety of collaborative scenarios involving different camera configurations, handheld mobile devices, head-mounted cameras, and stationary overhead cameras. Different display setups, for example, screen-based displays and projection-based displays. Tasks involving different mobility requirements, stationary tasks and mobile tasks, and tasks involving different task characteristics such as pointing tasks and procedural tasks. From a methodological perspective, studying the value of gaze awareness in collaboration can be challenging. Collaboration itself is a complex process, and subtle interventions can be beneficial in certain parts and may be counterproductive or not so beneficial in certain other parts. To overcome this challenge, 2 of the studies done as part of this thesis looked at benefits of shared gaze in specific subtasks of collaboration, and the remaining 2 looked at the benefits at an overall level. Studies 1 and 2 thus were done in 2 phases, deconstructing a potentially collaborative task to find subtasks where gaze could be useful. On the other hand, studies 3 and 4 involved real-time collaboration. Next, I'll go through the individual studies. The focus of this study was to answer if shared gaze can be useful in predicting task-relevant intentions. For this task, we chose driving as a scenario for investigation. The study was conducted in 2 phases. First, we invited actors to drive in a car driving simulator with gaze data recorded using a head-mounted gaze tracker. Second, we invited participants to view this video with gaze and with shared gaze and without, and predict the turn direction of the driver in a four-way intersection before it happened. The question we were specifically trying to answer was, can augmenting gaze information in egocentric video be useful in predicting a driver's turn direction, even before it happens? Results show that viewers of the gaze-augmented video were more accurate and confident in predicting turn directions. The results of the study proved that shared gaze can indeed be useful in collaboration involving egocentric videos for prediction of intention. In the second study, we shifted focus to spatial pointing. Pointing is the foundational building block for human-human and human-computer interactions. In collaborative scenarios involving head-mounted cameras, there are 4 different ways of communicating complex spatial information. For example, hand pointing. Hand pointing, when done, can be visible in the egocentric video like you see in the video. The next option is pointing with gaze. The third option could be pointing with the head. And the fourth option could be pointing with gaze and hand together. Again, this study was conducted in 2 phases. First, we invited actors to point at different pointing targets in a room prepared with numbers. In the second phase, participants viewed the egocentric video of the pointing act and estimated the pointing target. Results show that gaze-based pointing led to more accurate and confident estimation of pointing target than hand or head-based pointing. There was no difference between gaze only and gaze plus hand-based pointing. An interesting aspect was that gaze-based pointing was not influenced by the eccentricity of the target or density of the pointing targets. On the flip side, hand-based pointing was influenced by the density, and head-based pointing was influenced by the eccentricity of the target. Results show that shared gaze is particularly suited for pointing in collaborative scenarios involving head-mounted cameras. In contrast to the previous 2 studies, where the focus was to understand if shared gaze can provide measurable benefits in collaborative subtasks, the focus of this study was to compare shared gaze with shared mouse for remote collaboration, also with a baseline of video only. No previous study has existed comparing shared gaze and shared mouse in the context of collaborative physical tasks. The collaboration system we used involved stationary overhead cameras that provided a full and consistent view of the task space. Gaze and mouse pointer was physically projected on the task space without the need for any additional display to gather this information. Then the task involved building shapes with pentamino puzzle blocks. One of the collaborators knew the shape to build but did not have access to it. The other collaborator had physical access to the blocks but did not know the shape to build. And the task for the participants were to collaborate together to build this predefined shape. Let's see a short video of the task.
Weird S sign, not the SS, not that one, but like this one, yes. And match it there. Okay, that's right now.
Okay.
Now we need this one. Yeah, put it there. Good job. Now we need the rear piece. Here. Right. And then this one is going next to T, like this.
An analysis of the task completion times and the characteristics of the conversation showed that both gaze and mouse performed better than video only. Further, shared gaze and shared mouse performed equally well when the task involved pointing. However, in tasks involving communicating complex procedural instructions, for example, turn the block like this or flip it around like this, mouse outperformed gaze. The findings of this work emphasizes the need for analyzing task characteristics in terms of pointing and procedural instructions before deciding the optimal remote gesturing mechanism. In study 4, the focus was on mobile collaboration. After careful review of the previous literature on shared gaze for desktop-based collaboration, we identified that there were 3 different gaze configurations that were used. For example, a few of the previous studies used shared gaze as an implicit communication cue. In those studies, the producer of gaze was not aware that their gaze is being shared, and thus did not use it for explicit communication. The focus of the study was those studies were to understand if naturally occurring gaze could be useful for collaboration, a condition we call gaze unaware. In certain other studies, a producer of gaze was aware of the shared gaze, but did not view their own gaze pointer, since seeing own gaze pointer can be potentially distracting, a condition we call gaze invisible. In the remaining studies, the producer of gaze was aware of the shared gaze, but also could see their own gaze pointer, and thus could, for example, correct any offset in gaze tracking. In certain collaborative scenarios, seeing own gaze pointer is unavoidable. For example, when gaze is physically projected onto the task space, or when the collaborators are not remote but working on something together on the same physical display, a condition we call gaze visible. Previous research has found value in all these 3 configurations. This brings us to the pertinent question: are these 3 configurations equally effective? The purpose of the study was to answer that question. Participants used mobile video for collaboration. The task involved, like the previous time, building a predefined shape using pentamino puzzle blocks. One of the collaborators knew the shape to build but could not physically act on the puzzle blocks. The other collaborator could act on it but did not know the shape to build. The task for the collaborators were to collaborate to build the shape together. In the gaze unaware condition, participants took significantly more time to complete the task than with mouse. Similarly, in the gaze unaware, pairs required significantly more verbal effort to complete the task than all the other conditions. Unlike the previous study involving stationary collaboration, where shared mouse performed better than shared gaze, the difference between shared gaze and shared mouse were not noticeable in this case, in the case of mobile video collaboration. Gaze awareness can be useful in video-based collaborative physical tasks. Shared gaze enables more accurate and confident prediction of task-relevant intentions and spatial references. Further, it enables improved situational awareness and aids in conversational grounding. However, different contextual factors can influence the usefulness of shared gaze. The characteristics of the task influences the usefulness of shared gaze. Shared gaze was more useful in tasks involving pointing than tasks involving procedural instructions. Accuracy of gaze tracking is another aspect that influences the value of shared gaze. As accuracy of gaze tracking reduces, collaborators took more time and verbal effort to complete the task. Awareness of the collaborator regarding the shared gaze is also important. Gaze was most useful when both the collaborators were mutually aware of the shared gaze. In addition, our results also show that collaborator roles also influences how the usefulness of shared gaze is perceived. Lastly, this thesis also emphasizes the importance to compare shared gaze with other feasible mechanisms for communicating the same information. Shared gaze may not always be beneficial, nor a superior communication cue compared to other feasible options. To conclude, collaboration is at the heart of human interactions. Humans have evolved to what we are today because of our innate ability to understand and collaborate with each other. With the geographically dispersed nature of our workplaces and social circles, technologies that allow remote individuals to communicate and collaborate is a necessity of our times. Despite years of technological advancements, distributed collaboration is still a challenge. Today, there is an ever-increasing need to develop remote collaboration technology. Collaboration technologies could potentially reduce the need for people to travel to remote locations to conduct their personal and professional tasks. And increased adoption of remote collaboration technology could lead to substantial reduction in our carbon footprint. This thesis investigated the value of gaze awareness in increasingly important collaborative scenario involving physical tasks. The findings of this thesis will be beneficial to design future remote collaboration systems and also contribute to our theoretical understanding of value of gaze awareness in mediated communication. Thank you.